Hello everyone! Welcome back to another Locomochi Devlog, our cozy game about trains and puzzles, where you drive a tiny locomotive through a charming world of toys. Hi, my name is John, and I will show you what we've done through these weeks in name of the team. Let me tell you that your feedback was really valuable for us for improving all these little things that makes the game feel better as a whole. So let's jump into it, let's see it. Let's start with probably the biggest feature that came directly from your feedback, the strategic camera. If you watched the previous devlog, you might remember that we were debating whether players should access the strategic camera from specific buildings or simply through a button. Well, we decided to go with the second option. Now you can open what we call the camera map from anywhere in the level whenever you need, giving you a better overview of the puzzle. While working on that, we also redesigned how information is presented. Instead of the request panel occupying part of the screen that we had before, most of that information now appears as small diegetic pop-ups directly in the world that tell you where to deliver those wagons. There's still a lot of visual polish left to do, but usability has improved a lot, so can't wait to see what you players think about this feature. Speaking about polish, Jose has implemented our last feature regarding game feel, the platform snapping. Now wagons are attracted by delivery platforms, pressure plates, and anywhere where they must be left, really. This solves one of the most criticized aspects of the game, where players had to be really precise in some situations. And Locomochi is a cozy game. Of course that we want to make things easier and smoother. As always, we've also continued improving the onboarding experience. Tutorial signs are now much more robust with clear behaviors, and we have reworked their icons, which gives a much smoother introduction to new controls. One addition that I'm particularly happy with is the introduction to the new instruction booklet. Instead of feeling like a generic help menu, Carla gave it a scrap-inspired aesthetic that fits perfectly within the toy world. And whenever a mechanic is difficult to explain with static images, we can now include short demonstration videos directly inside the booklet. Hopefully, this will make learning new mechanics much more enjoyable. We've now completed the second pass of environment blocking for every level in the vertical slice. Besides refining the layouts, we've added placeholder grass and some really nice water shaders that Sergio made to make the world more alive. The hub has now become bigger in order to fit all those optional levels that we separated in the previous devlog, and Nuri has filled it with a lot of assets that gives it exactly the childish vibes that we were going for. Next step on this matter is to produce all the assets that have gameplay implications, like the level platforms and the barrier, with the train conductor that will ask you for tickets to open it. I really like this one. We've also started implementing placeholders visual effects across many interactions. They are definitely not final yet, but even temporarily VFX makes actions feel much more satisfying and responsive. To keep pushing the visual quality further, we've also been receiving some technical art mentorship. We've been learning a lot about rendering performance, optimization, and ways to improve the overall presentation of the game, without sacrificing our options for a later port for Nintendo Switch, for example. One important decision we've made recently is reducing the scope once again. Originally, we wanted to invest time into locomotive cosmetics before the vertical slice, but after thinking carefully about our priorities, we've decided to postpone that feature. We still really like the idea of customization, and we are definitely leaving the door open for the future. However, we are starting to feel that adding more locomotives and wagons with meaningful game feel difference could bring much more valuable than purely cosmetic rewards. For now, our priority is to create a concise experience where every feature feels polished and intentional. I also want to point out that, because of marketing needs, our production plan has needed to be moved 2 times, and what I planned for October now needs to be delivered for August. In order to prioritize quality over quantity, we've continued polishing a lot of small UI and UX details, fixing bugs, improving loading transitions, and generally making everything feel much more cohesive. None of these changes are particularly flashy on their own, but combined all together, they make Locomochi feel much more closer to the overall experience that we want players to have. Finally, a quick update regarding our marketing goals that have moved our production plan. Over the next few months, we will be participating in several Steam festivals and in-person events. Unfortunately, we can't talk about all of them just yet, but let's just say that there are some really exciting announcements coming soon. The closest one is Steam's Trains Festival. This is most likely our final public playtest before the next big milestone. So if you want to hands-on with Locomochi and help us build forward with your feedback, we will love you to join us. And that's all for now. This devlog has been shorter, and let me tell you that everything is becoming much more frenetic every time we get closer to delivering our vertical slide for Gamescom, so we must invest time on developing. Even though we will keep you updated with all these marketing goals in our social media, so don't forget to follow us there and to wishlist Locomochi to help us. Thank you really much, and see you soon!